me how Martin Luther King, who you commemorate as we did around the world, this week, Martin Luther King changed the most powerful nation of his time and never knew what a fax machine was. Fannie Lou Hamer changed the politics of the South and never knew what an email was. Thurgood Marshall changed the United States Constitution, never had the internet. Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, put Great Britain, the British Empire, in check. Never knew what Facebook was. Here you have all this technology. Facebook, Twitter, laptops, internet, 2 or 3 cell phones in your pocket, BlackBerry, and can't get 10 black Britons to register and vote. To work with compared to what they did not have, and look at what they did, and look at what we do. Nelson Mandela sat in jail 27 years to get the right to vote in South Africa. Mac Evans was shot and killed, getting out of his car, walking in a driveway in his home in Jackson, Mississippi, 3 little children inside. Never saw any of his children become adults. Never knew if they married, never knew if they went to school. Shot down in cold blood to get us the right to vote. 4 little girls went to Sunday school one morning in a Baptist church in Birmingham, Alabama. They put a bomb in the church and killed those little girls in their youth. Get us the right to vote. Here you sit in 21st century London. Nobody bombing your churches, nobody shooting you in driveways, nobody locking you in jails, just too lazy and ungrateful to use the Sunday. When they are arguing down there in the House of Parliament, the decisions are not for those that vote. The decisions are for everybody. It's not like if you don't vote, you don't have to live under what they decide. Well, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Yes, you do. Because whatever decisions they make, you will have to abide by. I had one of my super duper black revolutionary friends say, I don't believe in the system. We riding down the block and holler, I don't believe in the system. I don't abide by that. I ain't voting. I ain't in the system. I said, why are you stopping for red lights? Why don't we just do what we want? Just go on. If you care about the education of your children and the health care of your mama, all of that's going to be decided by them whether you vote or not. So to not vote is to say, I'll leave it up to them. And I'll sit over here angry and mad and say my vote don't count and let them make all the decisions. And they're fine with that. There is nothing threatening at all about an uninvolved, angry Negro. They're not threatened by that at all. You mad, just don't get involved. You angry, just fine. Stay home mad. In fact, you can have mad Negro rallies. We'll lease you rooms to have mad Negro rallies. You just beat up or talk about us, call us names, but don't engage. Because then we're going to have to deal with you. And I'm telling you, in a time that we can elect presidents in the United States and governors, there's no excuse to be sitting in a position that you are, and everybody of color in Great Britain not be moving to the polls in May saying that this is a new day and a new time. We must also over the definitions of who we are. And we must change the power of definition. Because the power of definition will decide who's good and bad. Some people got upset at my eulogy for Michael Jackson. But I could not accept the premise that Michael was just some oddball. First of all, if you grew up and Michael and I grew up around, I'm 4 years older than Michael. Michael and I know each other since we were teenagers. If you grew up around the era of Liberace and Boy George, what makes Michael strange? I mean, who defines that? So one day, he's broke and wacko. He dies, and now all of a sudden, they're in court fighting over a broke man's billions. And he's Jacko. We can't be that stupid. If he was broken, what are they fighting over? What are all these lawyers about? Because when Michael decided that he wanted to own some of the business and bought the catalogs that owned the Beatles and others' music, it wasn't funny no more. As long as you the show and not in the show business, it's fine, because you are allowed to entertain people, but you're not allowed to engage and empower yourself. And we must not allow our artists to be just some rapping court gestures for supremacists that love to sit and be entertained by our self-degradation. Yes, the battle continues, and it continues all over the world. But you're in a strategic place, right here in the UK. People in Africa, people in Asia, people in the Caribbean, people in South America can be impacted by your actions here. Because what happens out of the Foreign Office here, what happens out of the Prime Minister's office here is impacted by you that are here. What we do in the United States guides foreign policy around the world. I'm not saying that everything that President Obama is going to do is correct, but it is certainly a different strand than what we had and can lead to the level of improvement and equality that we want. But you cannot talk about you love your people, but you are not doing what you should in your position. We do not need you to write us revolutionary prose and not be engaged right here in the empire to have the power that would redirect what impact this country has on our people's lives. So having all of the great assessments in the world and all of the great critiques in the world is meaningless if there's no action to back them up. There are enough blacks in Britain to make a difference. Why are we not doing it? Let me say this, it becomes a personal choice. Life is about your own finding and discovering your own life purpose. At the end of the day, you should not do any of this because the magnitude of history. You should do this to define for yourself who you are. Everybody in here should live for some purpose bigger than themselves. And those that achieve greatness or even relevance are those that are committed to a purpose that is the statement of their life when their life is over. I can tell you the hardest job of a black preacher, and I've been a preacher mostly all my life, and the most difficult task of a black preacher is to preach the funeral of an irrelevant Negro.